Are you being encouraged to go to a certain place to protest? Are you seeing messages, and are you seeing sock puppet accounts saying, oh, if you're not coming to Trafalgar Square on such and such a date, you can't say anything? Well, I'd be very suspicious. Here we go again. I'd be very suspicious of anyone encouraging any kind of protest in Trafalgar Square. So you want to go and stand in the middle of an open square, do you, surrounded by CCTV, able to be cordoned off by the police? You want to be in a new 5G area, do you? You want to be cattled into an open square in the middle of a city? I'm getting sick of the stupidity of my fellow countrymen. Many of you must know the flow of information is what's causing this, and the flow of information does not come from an empty square in the middle of a city. Who are you showing your displeasure to? I mean, these numpties going to Buckingham Palace and standing outside Buckingham Palace. Do you fucktards not even know that the bitch in residence doesn't live there anymore? Hasn't been there for months and will never return there again. So you go and protest outside Buckingham Palace, or go and stand in an empty square surrounded by police and cameras, cajoled by messages on social media calling you a coward if you don't. So let's talk about the flow of information. Chatham House, the Grand Masonic Lodges, the City of London, the BBC, ITV, Channel 4, Channel 5, Sky, Fleet Street, Google headquarters, Facebook, Yahoo, Twitter. These are controlling the flow of information, the false flow of information. And if there's going to be any kind of revolution in the UK in particular, it's these places that need to be shut down, burnt to the ground first. Because if people continue to go out into the street, to an empty square, to an empty palace, and chant and are coerced into doing this, using, well, it's the tactics that are being used are exactly the same tactics forcing people into their homes. It's coercion and flow of information. So if you want to get your country back on track, you take down the flow of information. You cut the head off the snake first. You go to the city and you tear that city to pieces. You go to the Grand Masonic Lodge, you tear that lodge apart. You go to Chatham House, you burn it to the ground. You do the same with the BBC, the ITV, Sky, you know what I mean. And this is a hypothetical revolution because nobody's going to do this. Nobody is going to do that. Why? Because people are scared. I'd be scared to do that, and I'd know that there wouldn't be enough people behind us to do something like that, because the flow of information would start against us negatively from the very places that we were thinking of tearing down. So wouldn't it be great to dismantle 90% of the servers, for example, in one day, along with the 3 or 4 mainstream broadcasting platforms? You know it would, and you know what I'm saying makes total sense, and it's scary, and it's never going to happen. The revolution won't be televised because there won't be a revolution. Do you see? The system will always be here. There will be the system forever. Whether you want this system or like this system is down to you to accept it or change it. The problem, of course, is this flow of information will stop any kind of uprising or any kind of revolution dead. I'm watching an English guy earlier who makes very good videos, and he was saying about the new law that you're allowed 15 at a wedding but 30 at a funeral. And he surmised at the end, is it because they don't want you to feel celebratory? That 15 people isn't really enough at a wedding to get a really good party going, but 30 is enough for misery to spread around a room. And I remind you how many children on average there are in a classroom in primary schools in England, and it's 33. Cheers.